Welcome to the show, guys. Joseph Robert Camo, the fantasy football counselor. In this video, we're talking about 5 fantasy players that I will never, ever draft again. Fantasy players I will never have on my roster. Fantasy players that I will avoid like the plague. I will stay far away from these players under all circumstances. I will never, ever, ever draft these guys, and neither should you, based on the stuff that they've done in the past or just because I don't want to draft them, right? I'm going to go over the reasons exactly why. Or they're durable or not durable and they can't stay on the field. So 5 fantasy football players for 2022 to never, ever draft and just to stay away from and to avoid, okay? Fantasy football players to avoid completely. Just never consider them, okay? I have to emphasize this fact because I really dislike these guys for fantasy football. Let's dive into the show. Before we do, guys, head on over to pristineauction.com. pristineauction.com. Use promo code SWAGLINE when you sign up. We've got some amazing giveaways. I've got right here, I got to pull it up. Pull it up here. I've got a Hopkins jersey here, one of the giveaways. Got a signed Dalvin Cook helmet, speed helmet as well. Beautiful stuff. Compliments of Pristine Auction. To enter, guys, pristineauction.com. Use promo code SWAGLINE. You're entered for all draws moving forward. Go create an account. You're entered. Draws coming up very soon. And we got some other big ones. We got a big quarterback helmet draw this month as well. That helmet's coming to us very soon. And then Dalvin Cook signed speed helmet, the Hopkins here. Lots of giveaways. pristineauction.com. Use promo code, guys, SWAGLINE. Go create an account. Go do that right now, okay? Link here below to get to the site. All right, let's go into this, guys. The first guy. Now, if you are new to the channel, we're going hard 2022 videos here daily. Now, the first player here, it's pretty obvious that I don't like this guy. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram. This is why you got to be following on Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor. Like the channel. Subscribe if you're new. Go follow at Fantasy Football Counselor on Instagram. The guy came out and said, he goes, F your fantasy teams. Now, a lot of players have done this. It's ignorant. It's stupid. The guy I'm talking about is A.J. Brown, okay? I will never draft this guy. I didn't draft him last year. The guy sucks. He's overrated. He was top 10 on all the consensus rankings, okay? Listen, hear me out. A.J. Brown was top 10 across all the consensus rankings, and he finished 33rd. 33rd amongst wide receivers. What do you have? 99 targets, 4 touchdowns, 164 fantasy points PPR. Unacceptable, A.J. Brown. This was a guy everybody promoted in the second round. The mainstream, the consensus, the magazines all promoted A.J. Brown as a top consensus guy. I said stay away from A.J. Brown. I don't think the volume is going to be there. Ryan Tannehill's not a guy that throws a ton, and it's a run-first team. Even with Henry hurt, A.J. Brown didn't play the full season. He played, like 12 games or something crazy like that? Nothing. 12 games. And at the end of the day, didn't perform to his ADP. And then to boot, when people said that he screwed their fantasy championships, not my followers as well, of course, not Council Nation, but once he actually came out and said, F your fantasy teams, that was a straw on the camel's back for me. I did a video basically telling him off, calling him a loser, chewing up his rookie card, signed rookie card that is serial numbered out of 75. Now there's only 74 available because I chewed it. So A.J. Brown is a guy I will never, ever, ever draft just because he's a prick. And because, I said F your fantasy teams, and he sucked. He busted drastically. And, never going to draft him. Tons of reasons, okay? Second guy here. I mean, this goes without saying. I was high on him. I thought he would have had a pinnacle year. I miscalculated, and I will take full ownership. The guy I'm talking about is Saquon Barkley. Finished well outside the top 20. I don't even know where he finished. He finished, 32nd amongst running backs in fantasy points, 140-ish points based on a 17-week season here in 2021. Going into 2022 and beyond, Saquon Barkley is dead to me when it comes to fantasy football. Dead to me. He's done. I will never draft him. As far as I'm concerned, Saquon Barkley does not exist. He's gone. He's done. I'm never drafting this guy. He is done. I will never, ever draft him, period. So this is a guy that has really not, I think he finished one season, if that. He just never got done. I'm just pulling up his stats here. So he finished 2018 season. After that, 13 games, 2 games, and then 12 games this past season. Unacceptable. A guy that just can't get it done. I understand the O-line's an issue. There's no doubt about it. I understand the offense is an issue. No doubt about it. But there's no excuse, right? He has these injuries all the time. He can't stay on the field. That's a big thing. Durability is a big thing. And a guy that has been promoted to be the guy who's got that explosive power, right? And ability, and he just can't get it done. 4 years into the season, 4 years into his career, 1 good season, Unacceptable, finishing only one season out of the 4. To me, I don't care if he breaks out. I don't care if he's due for a breakout, which he probably is if he's ever going to do it. This was the year for him. It was a make or break. And literally, he got broken. He got hurt again. And he's done to me. I will never, ever, ever, ever draft Saquon Barkley. I don't care. You can have him. He's done for me, okay? Next guy, not that I drafted him anyway, but Christian McCaffrey. Another guy that I will never, ever, ever draft, and I avoided this guy. He played in 2020, he played 3 games. In 2021, he played 7 games. He had 3 consistent seasons in 2017, 18, and 2019. After that, it was downhill. I predicted the downhill. I said, stay away from it. It was a new offense. I'm personally staying away from Christian McCaffrey. Sure enough, he busted 2 years in a row. I'm just never drafting. I can't trust this guy. He's out there modeling naked, in silk pajamas or whatever he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. But either way, he's trying too hard with this modeling thing. He looks ridiculous doing it. And obviously, ever since the modeling thing, it's been downhill for him. Ankle injuries, hamstring injuries. You know, I think it was like the first game of the season or second game. He came out, he tweaked the hamstring. He didn't do it. No one touched him. He just tweaked the hamstring. Is that just lack of taking care of your body? Is that bad training? Is that, I mean, you're at peak physical condition. You run 2 yards and not even 2 yards, just run behind the line of scrimmage up to the first yard you want to gain, and you tweak a hamstring. You should be stretching. You should be in good shape. Unacceptable. Unacceptable for a guy that was drafted first overall for the Macon Chiefs. I avoided him, and I'm very proud. 2 years in a row, I avoided a bust. That is Christian McCaffrey. So another guy I will never, ever, ever draft is Christian McCaffrey. Now, there's a list of a ton more I won't draft, but I want to narrow it down to 5, okay? The next guy here is Dalvin Cook. I mean, it really goes without saying. The guy has not finished a season. I don't have the exact number here. I did the math on this, and literally this guy I don't think he's ever finished a season, period. Let me pull this up here. Yeah, so he's never finished a season. 4 games season 1, 11 games season 2, 14, 14, and 12 are what he's finished. 12 games this past season. 12 games. This guy was drafted in the first round across the board, has not finished a season. He's hit his pinnacle. He's hit his ceiling. He will never come back. This is a guy you want to avoid like the plague. And even in the fantasy championships this year, he played, but he got like 4 points. Completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. So Dalvin Cook is the 4th guy in no particular order that I will never, ever, ever, ever draft. Ever. I never drafted him anyway. He was held to 13 yards in the championships. 13 yards. 3 receptions. 1.3 standard points. 1.3 if you're in standard. 4.3 if you're in PPR. That is embarrassing. That is humiliating. He sucks. He can't stay healthy. He's dead to me. And so many people say, well, Joe, I draft Dalvin Cook, I get Madison. No, you draft Najee Harris, you get Madison, you got 2 RB1s. That's the future, because I do not believe Dalvin Cook will finish the season again next year. You're going to anticipate. It's proven. 5 years he's not finished the season. I'm staying away. I'm never drafting Dalvin Cook. And the fact of the matter is, he crapped the bed in the championship yet again. And 2 years ago, if you remember, if you guys drafted him, listen to the sheep and drafted him, he actually crapped the bed, listen to this, in the championship again. So I don't even think he showed up. I think he got hurt the last game in your fantasy championship. So he's literally screwed 2 out of 3 championships in regards to either not performing or not being on the field. So Dalvin Cook is also not going to be ever drafted by me. I'm staying far away from him. I'm avoiding him like the plague. Dalvin Cook is done. Never drafting him, avoiding him like the plague as well. Okay? I've got so many other guys here for the 5th spot that I'm never, ever, ever drafting. But I got to go with this guy here, and I'm going to give you an honorable mention. The guy I'm talking about is Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott is a guy that's as safe as they come, but that's the problem. He's too safe. He's too boring. He's hit his stride. He's hit his pinnacle. If any year he was going to get it done, it would be this year. Now, mind you, he finished 6th with 219 attempts, but this is a guy that should be getting at least 300 attempts a season, not getting it. Pollard's an issue, rushed under 1,000 yards, relatively unacceptable. Yes, I know he's got the 10 touchdowns, but 240 points. He's safe at best. I think he's hit his ceiling. I think he's hit his peak. I don't know what's going to happen with the future of Zeke in the offseason. I really don't know. All I know is with Zeke, he is safe, he is boring, and I just don't like safe and boring. And he always comes off in the first round. If I'm getting safe and boring, I'm going to wait till like the 10th round to get a safe and boring guy. And I understand he's safe and he's slow and steady, he wins the race, but he also screwed the fantasy football championships, putting up a measly 3 points in standard and putting up a 4 points in PPR. Unacceptable. He had a lot of down weeks as well. Week 1, 5.9 points. Week 8, 11.3. Week 9, 12.6. Week 11, 12.8. Week 13, 6.7 points. And week 14, 9 points. And, of course, the championship week, 4 points. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mediocre weeks out of your first-round pick. Unacceptable. I need better performance. And his pinnacle game, and those are average games. His pinnacle game was week 3 at 26 points. He had 2 games over 24 points. That's it. Other than that, it was just safe points throughout the entire season. Very, very boring. I'm staying away. I'm never drafting him. And again, I promised an honorable mention. Before I do, guys, make sure you guys do click that subscribe button and the thumbs up. I appreciate it. If you are listening in the car on Apple iTunes and Spotify, make sure you hit the follow button. And if you're on iTunes, I appreciate just going to the review tab and leaving a 5-star rating and review. Genuinely appreciate it. But the main thing for you YouTubers, hit the thumbs up and, of course, click subscribe. My honorable mention goes to James Robinson, a guy that has all the upside in the world. The talent was there, was an undrafted free agent, did well. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars drafted Etienne last year. Etienne gets hurt, and then basically James Robinson craps the bed. He gets hurt as well near the end of the season. And then what pissed me off with James Robinson is he said, basically with A.J. Brown, when he said, F your fantasy teams, James Robinson said, yeah, what he said. So James Robinson has no respect for the fantasy football community. The fact that he got hurt, the fact that he sucks, the fact that Jacksonville Jaguars don't believe in him are enough reasons for me to say, screw you, James Robinson. I'm never drafting you as well. So there's your honorable mention, and there's a ton more other players to avoid. All of that is in the 16-round draft solution. Get it below here or go to thefantasyfootballcouch.com. Pre-order the 16-round draft solution for the lowest price of the season. I'm out, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Leave a comment below. Who are you going to avoid moving forward forever? You're never going to draft him again. Thanks, guys. I'm out.